Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, John Cena and Cody Rhodes ruin each other's lives.
AEW's Max Viewership has finally been revealed.
Karrion Kross is entering a contract year in WWE.
And CM Punk shoots on the Beatles.
Hey,
I'm Adam Wilborn.
This is going to be a fun news video.
Tasty comment section, isn't it?
Oh yeah, all of these stories, apart from maybe the Karrion Kross one, are going to get people riled up. Let's go.
We love Karrion Kross.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah.
All of you.
Or just go out, who cares?
Yeah.
And this is the news.
Right, let's talk about John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Boy, did they turn it up a notch last night. I think this is actually Cena's last advertised appearance.
I believe so.
Which is, I mean, I want more after last night. But yeah, so if you missed last night's episode of Raw, or if you watched it and you just want our reaction, this was, I thought this was fire, personally.
Yeah, it's the best thing they've done.
Yeah, easily. So Cena came out to start the show, but Cody Rhodes was like, no, here's my music, governor. He came down, he interrupted him, he said, no, not this week, John, I'm gonna kick things off, blah, 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 blah. Cody, preempted a bunch of stuff that Cena might have said about, his neck tattoo and stuff like that. Cena kind of swerved around that a little bit. Now, I'm not going to read the entire promo to you guys, but I'm going to read a bunch of it, because there's some...
I'll read the entire promo on the Raw Review podcast, don't you worry.
There you go. Simon Miller will be here later with ups and downs as well. But, here's some stuff that John Cena said. I've worked too damn hard to make the WWE title a symbol of mastery. To have it paraded around by a paint-by-numbers sociopathic Nepo baby who is so into himself, he had his wrestling gimmick tattooed for the world to see. It's not where your tattoo is at, Cody. It's what your tattoo exposes you to the world for who you are. A common fan like them. So after WrestleMania, it'll be great for you. Go straight to Fanatics, buy the toy belt that they call... I've completely mangled that. Go straight to Fanatics, buy the toy belt that they buy, call yourself their champion, because the last real champion is taking the WWE title home forever and exposing you for who you are, an errand boy that got lucky. He called him his chauffeur earlier on, if you remember that bit of lore. Cena said that I don't bury talent, I am talent, I bury mediocrity. Harsh on Wade Barrett on commentary there, wasn't it?
It's that right there.
Yeah, come on, John, what are you doing? Now, earlier on, Cody kind of went through all of these things about that Cena might attack him for, including being booed in a company that he helped create, which refers to the Codyverse, of course. Cena kind of referenced AEW there, saying, I make empires for billionaires. All you've ever done is steal money from their kids.
What a line.
Cena had a line as well about, Cody, had a really good line about how, hey, you made money for a billionaire we can't even mention anymore. I thought that was a good line.
Yeah.
That was a really good line. Cody fired back, obviously. I actually thought that Cody kind of took his lunch money on the promo. I thought he was nasty to John Cena, which is fair enough because John Cena is being a rude guy. Cody went after him. He said, they chose me. Can you say the same, John? Or here's the line. Or was it one guy in an office who chose you who is not here anymore and we don't talk about him? He had a kind of a literal below the belt line, Cody did. He said, you got more in that promo than you do in your jorts, which is...
He got no...
We might have to censor that, actually. It's already in the video. I said it too, it's fine. Cody called him a piece of S, all kinds of other things. And at the end, Cena went in for a cheap shot after being so rattled by Cody Rhodes.
Saying that he can't, no one ever chance you can't wrestle at me.
That was the trigger, and Cody ended up laying him out with a crossroads. So they also mentioned The Rock for the first time.
Hey!
Which is good. Where is he? I have no idea. I don't think he knows, actually. He's probably on a hammock drinking his tequila going, dee-hoo! Or whatever. There you go, man. I thought this was lots of fun.
Yeah, this was exactly what I needed right now in terms of just...
flamethrower.
I've liked the previous stuff. I know that's been slightly more divisive, but I've liked this way that Cena just comes in and kills children's dreams, basically. But this was the good stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Immediately after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, just such amazing back and forth. I think sometimes you have these and someone just has to sort of stand there and take it, but both of them got their shots in. Both of them...
They buried each other.
Yeah, just destroyed each other, which is not... It's refreshing to see in terms of often it's like ooh, I'll say one nasty thing or whatever. No, just go for each other. You hate each other now, clearly, and what you each stand for. I just cannot wait for these two to get together. I do hope, like you say, there's either an unannounced John Cena appearance. I think there may well be.
Yeah.
Or maybe The Rock's going to show up. Maybe next week in Chicago or whatever.
Yeah.
On Friday in Chicago, he's going to pop up. I don't know.
I would like one big physical heat angle. I tweeted during the show that if you give me a blood angle by the end of the show, we're off to the races. This is it. I understand why they didn't do it last night because they had the big Jimmy Uso angle.
Yeah, there's enough blood for that for everyone.
Exactly, and that was a tremendous angle. And I think maybe if you did another one with Cena and Cody later in the show, it might have detracted a little bit, which would have been bad because I thought that was tremendous business, the Jimmy and and Gunta thing. But I would like to see some kind of brutal physicality either next week. Maybe what you could do is remember the Rock angle last year in the rain with the blood and all that. That was phenomenal. What you could do is have John Cena do that with the Rock directing traffic. That might be fun.
Now say, look at you now, boy.
Yeah, now insult his dad. It could be really good. But yeah, I do hope that we have more Cena coming before WrestleMania because I did think it needed a bit of an escalation. We got it here. I mean, I've got nothing to complain about. It wasn't universally popular. I did see some people criticizing it, but I enjoyed it, so I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was absolutely sensational, and I think, maybe they may just hold off on it now until like the go home to really bloody Cody up or whatever. But I do hope you're right in that regard.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Like, comment down below, man. What was your favorite line? Let us know your favorite line.
So many, wasn't there? That's the beauty of it.
The way I saw it was
didn't like the jorts line. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah,
again.
I mean, I popped as well. To be fair, the way I see it, this is for the hip hop fans out there. I liked both of their promos, and I like both of these songs. But I think John Cena was Jay-Z Takeover, and Cody Rhodes was Nas with Ether in this.
Quite the comparison
in this thing. But hey, look, if you think I'm talking pish, let me know down below as well.
Right, let's turn our attention now to AEW. Loads of speculation, obviously, for a long time now about what this AEW Max viewership has been, because now when this sort of Nielsen ratings come out, you can't really judge whether or not an episode of Dynamite is well watched or not, because and up until now we didn't know what the viewership was going to be, but it's finally been revealed, and apparently AEW averaging 500,000 viewers on its Wednesday night AEW Dynamite show, according to sources. Combined with live cable numbers, that would take them to back over 1 million, 1 to 1.2 million viewers weekly. Apparently AEW regularly outperforming some major hockey games and catching up on the NBA games, which do sort of 1.7 to 2 million on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And obviously AEW pay-per-views are expected to move to Max once they have the capability on the app to run pay-per-view shows. But yeah, it's been a long sort of discussed topic, this, in terms of, right, well, they're doing 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, whatever it is, on regular TV. What's Max? Is it 2 people? Is it 2 million people? We now know it's around 500,000, which is really good news for them.
There's really good, reporting from BJ Bethel of SE Scoops on this
sorry,
one.
I forgot to mention that.
That's all good. It's just really good work, because there's been a lot of speculation on this. Obviously, when Max became a thing for AEW, it was quite notable that the cable viewership didn't really go down. It's kind of stable. It's been in this kind of 600K range for basically the whole year. Actually, in some instances, it's increased a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's quite telling, because you might think that if roughly the same amount of people were watching the show, some would go over to the streaming platform, which would bring the TV numbers down.
Yeah.
When it didn't go down, that made people like me, who are cynical, think, well, the Max viewership can't be particularly high because the TV viewership hasn't changed.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, but clearly that's not the case. I also thought that if the numbers were like really good, and these are great, like this is excellent for AEW, 1 to 1.2 million across both platforms. If the numbers were high, I always figured as well that the Warner and AEW put out a little press release.
I thought so too, yeah.
Because that's like, but maybe their PR just works differently to other companies. So like it's fantastic for AEW. It's really positive. It's a lot higher than I thought it would be personally. So fair play to them. Look, they've had a good year.
I was going to say a far better 2025 for them, isn't it?
Absolutely. Since like late January, early February, TV has been really solid, really good. They're always a good pay-per-view company. The match quality is always super high on those shows, and they've had a really good year. I think they've done a good job of maximizing people like Tony Storm, and a bunch of others. I think that so the Death Rider storyline, it's not everyone's favorite. I also don't think that, especially in the past month or so, it's not the worst storyline of all time. I think it's a bit overblown. It's not the Nightmare Collective. Let's be honest, right? And you're probably going to get Swerve winning the belt next week.
I hope so, yeah. It feels like we've talked about this a lot on our Dynamite podcasts, myself and the Dadleys. It feels like there's so many like shoots of development, except for the Death Riders, that once that's out of the way, you've got so much exciting stuff to come.
I will say I was a little bit reticent to put this in the video. Some of the responses to BJ's report here have been completely insane.
I glanced at the Twitter replies and went, oh,
yeah,
there we go, that's wrestling fans for you.
He tweeted saying that somebody had started a Twitter space about this report, claiming that he was like on the payroll.
Yeah.
How do you some guy had started a space to rant about it? It's just like people.
It's a really way around the houses, that, isn't it? Right, we'll fake some numbers, then pay off this journalist to report it, destroying his reputation in the process, by the way.
And BJ doesn't report often on things, but when
very
he does,
rarely talk about this guy. But fair play to him, great reporting.
Yeah, when he does, it's always on the money. He's a proper reporter. It's just people are just in this tribal landscape, and I'm aware we're part of the tribal landscape, right? But so many people are just desperate for the promotion they don't like to fail.
Yes.
And to the extent that they won't believe a sourced report from a credible reporter, and will go, this is fake, it can't be real, this is not, AEW's dying, all of this nonsense. AEW's not dying. If you think that, I'm sorry, but that's nuts. That's
give your
mental.
head a wobble.
Yeah, give your head a little D'Lo Brown. Actually, don't try and do that. That will mess your brain up. It's sore.
It always hurts my neck when I don't know how he did it every week.
Pop up D'Lo. Go on. I don't have the rhythm to do it, but I love D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
Anyway, look.
Also, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're angry about this, just move on with your life, I suppose. Like, whether you like, if you're a fan of AEW that doesn't like the WrestleMania build, fine. Yeah. Just don't watch it. And if you're someone who's like, no, it's the line. In fact, it's 6 people with 1 million tellies in their house. That's how they're tricking everybody.
Yeah, Nielsen's at it, man.
It doesn't affect you. Like, if you like it, great. I mean, if you're an AEW fan, this doesn't really affect you. It's nice to hear.
Sure.
But the output that they've done, like you said, has been far better this year.
Yep.
Really exciting times for them. But people get so het up on the wrong things.
It's wild. But look, it's a really positive thing for them. And like, I've always been of the mindset that even if you don't like the product, man, how can you deny that it's good that this company exists and gives work to people and gives fans an alternative and all of this stuff. I've always said Max is the best thing about AEW. I'm normally talking about MJF, but MJF actually commented.
Did he?
I don't have the exact quote, but he was like, basically, stop being babies. Talking about references between AEW and WWE back and forth. Stop being babies. I think that you have to be secure in the things you like and not take everything as an insult. At the same time, I also think that if you don't like something, just don't watch it. Easy.
Real easy, innit?
Ignore it. Like, I don't like the Rolling Stones particularly. I'm not listening to them. Yeah. It's a simple choice as a consumer.
Lord of the Rings is not on a loop in my house.
Yeah.
It's real simple.
I love Lord of the Rings, to be fair. But hey.
Well, speaking of slaughter and sacred cows, we'll get to something like that in
a second. Hell, I can't wait for that. Karrion Kross.
Ooh, yeah.
He has entered a WWE contract year. What that means is that his deal is up this year. Fightful Select's coming through with the report. His deal is set to expire in the summer, apparently. There's no word on whether or not... Fightful hadn't heard yet if he's actively working on a renewal. People in WWE have been really happy with Kross. Ecstatic is the word. And his ability to get himself over with his social media angles and the stuff he's doing on Raw, where he kind of takes credit for everyone's success. Yeah. It's really good. It's a really fun bit. Obviously, him and Scarlett have a pretty interesting WWE history. They were originally released by the company in 2021, but they were brought back when Triple H gained power and Vince was gone. During his WWE absence, it's interesting, he was actually offered a one-off AEW match that he turned down. I believe it was a loss to Wardlow that went to W. Morrissey, who is now Big Bill.
Right.
I think that's the chain of events. Correct me if I'm wrong. He turned it down. He said it wasn't right for him at the time. But he's an interesting guy. I think he has really found himself in the past year or so, maybe.
Yeah.
Since he kind of leaned into the fact that he's actually a really charming, charismatic, and funny dude, and stopped being so bloomin' serious.
Yeah.
Some people are really great at being serious, and he was good at it, but he's really good at being a silly goose.
Look, we love Karrion Kross here at WhatCulture, and like you say, he's had a checkered history. It was sort of boom and bust, wasn't it? It was the biggest push you could possibly get, killing everyone in NXT, winning the title, then popping up on the main roster in some stupid outfit whilst champion.
The gimp mask, I forgot.
To lose to, was it Jeff Hardy he lost to? And then obviously, the release and then the return, and he's done a lot of this throughout his time, his sort of scheming. I think it's really coming to fruition now. He's clearly not getting the Sami Zayn match at WrestleMania that many people speculate he's going to, but you sense he's going to be heavily involved in what happens with the Judgment Day, because you keep seeing him whisper in Dominic Mysterio's ear backstage.
He's a really fun, creative guy. Do you know what one of my favourite things that he does is, and this is so silly, is that when he's in a segment with someone, he kind of models their haircut.
Yes, I love this.
Around them, like when he's in this segment with AJ Styles, it's low, it's loose, and it's all it's straightened and all this stuff. And then he's in a segment with Sammy, and it's crazy and all over the place. That's just a fun touch. You know what this gimmick reminds me of? Sean O'Haire, the Devil's Advocate thing that he was doing briefly in WWE. It's kind of... Did you hear that?
I don't know.
There's a T-Rex from Jurassic Park waking up. Gee whiz. Yeah, it's like a kind of fully actualized modern version of that, which obviously, Sean O'Haire tragically passed away and didn't have the career his talents warranted and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm really into it. I like it.
I hope, whatever happens with him post WrestleMania, that this contract being up gives them the impetus to give him something to really get his teeth into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe he's going to get whatever's left of the Judgment Day after WrestleMania.
Oh man, him and Dominic. So much. That could be the stupidest thing of all time. I'm into it.
Yeah,
Let's
me
go.
too.
Stupid is good, by the way. I'm complimenting.
Absolutely. Right, let's talk CM Punk. The moment we read this story, we were very excited to report it to you. So,
had to go in.
Jackie Redmond, she's on Instagram. She's doing a video with all the guys backstage, basically asking people to name something that you dislike that is universally loved by everyone else. And CM Punk, sometimes people do this and they sort of skirt around the issue. They're like, well, I don't like people littering. It's like, well, that's not really universally loved by everyone.
I don't like war.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, okay?
I think it's bad, actually.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, CM Punk did not dodge the question here, because CM Punk went after the Beatles, saying just a bunch of overrated, 100% overrated, phony boy band that was manufactured and went through phases. Oh, we're hippies now. We're psychedelic now. F you, Sgt. Pepper. So, he's not held back, and I sense now CM Punk even more one of your favourite wrestlers.
This was hilarious. So, the video... It also has the ring announcer Alicia Taylor involved.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like the Beatles either. And Jackie Redmond is sitting there what? Speechless. Her face is just
she's great, yeah.
It's like the Scream painting. She's really good at her job. And then Punk, says, F you, Sgt. Pepper. Is Sgt. Pepper a real man? Does he exist?
If he is, he's working, he's making a fatal four-way at WrestleMania, I reckon.
Yeah. So the Beatles are one of those bands where it's they're kind of responsible for every music ever.
Yeah.
Apart from the stuff that came before them and they kind of ripped off a little bit. But in terms of they invented so many different melodies and they were the first to do so many different things and all of these things. So there's a through line from the Beatles influence-wise to most modern stuff. So you have to acknowledge that, I think, a little bit. At the end of the day, though, you don't have to. Also, you're entitled to think they suck ass. Yeah. And I happen to think they do suck ass, personally. I can't stand anything they've ever done. I agree with CM Punk. They got no riffs. And, it's one of those things. People lived in caves before they lived in houses. Right, the Beatles came before everything else. Does that mean that the cave is better than the house?
Ooh.
We used to
love a good cave.
People used to knock around in horse and carriage. I got a car now. Things have evolved, things have changed. I'm also aware that Beatles fans get really upset when you talk about them mean. But yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things where I acknowledge their influence and the impact, but I think they suck.
Yeah,
so.
I get more than enough hate for my hatred of Lord of the Rings in terms of Sacred Cow, so I'm going to stay out of this one. I like the Beatles.
I want to hold your hand.
Probably favourite album, probably the best of the Beatles for me.
Greatest hits.
But I think the odds have just leapt up for Seth Rollins to come out as a member of Sgt. Pepper. At WrestleMania, just to stick the boot out. Bucks have done that once, haven't they?
He could have the whole entourage from the cover because he had the mummers last year.
He could.
Yeah, why not? That's a really good idea. Seth Rollins should do some Beatles stuff.
Please, I think it'd look amazing at WrestleMania.
Probably a better songwriter than John.
No, I've never heard anyone sing along to the Beatles like people sing along to Seth Rollins' theme. So
this is true. When was the last time you heard? Name a mosh part that the Beatles wrote.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Can you name all the members? I think I can.
Yeah.
I've got.
Where are we going?
Paul.
Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
Louis. And the drummer.
And
there you go.
And the drummer, who's not even the best drummer in the Beatles, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Oh no, sorry, I remembered his name. Thomas, because he was Thomas the Tank Engine. That was the other one.
He braked Henry in that tunnel that time, man. What an asshole. Anyway,
as if you need any more encouragement with the stories you've talked about today, there's the comment section.
just go nuts.
Have fun.
It's good
Be
engagement.
nice, though. Like, share, subscribe. While you're at it, why not check out this video right here? What is it, Andy?
It's the 100 greatest WrestleMania moments ever.
We're going in 2.5 weeks.
Oh, we are. And this is 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
Oh.
Check it out.
Mwah.
Bye.